couple kills already traded away. Sabrosa back of sight, and he's already calling for some of his team members to start to rotate back over towards this B site. And now, as they funnel in from the defender spawn, Sabrosa's got a pretty big job here to take out at least 1 or 2 members. Make it a lot easier for the rest of the TSM members to funnel in through the vents. But Sabrosa's got to deal with this 2v2 kind of separated right down the middle. Back into the corner he goes, finds Skadoodle. That's a good shot. Now the Molotov as well coming in from the side. Sabrosa finds another one. Drone on the Sova will help get the job done. And now Brax gets caught with his hands in his pockets. Hopefully he's reaching out for the W, but it's going to be the L that he pulls out instead. And TSM win the very first pistol. Vancilla, you called it. They needed to win a pistol round.
Yeah, and that was just unfortunate miscommunication or mispositioning for T1 on the Pulse plant. Because yes, they had the right position to look from hookah, from the crossfire setup to see if anybody was going to push towards J. But the thing is, Sabrosa was already hitting around the corner of the J hall, or from elbow, if you want to call it that way too, where it wasn't really spotted by Brax at inside hookah. So that gave a chance for Sabrosa to open it up, get that kill onto the B cubby, onto Skadoodle, and that just broke down the Pulse plant situation for T1. So a great round for TSM on that retake. It was a little bit spicy and dicey with Brax staying alive as long as he could and hopefully get a kill, but everybody was whiffing at that point. Everybody was whiffing shots at that point. I gave the chance for TSM to get the kill, get the defuse, and get this round.
So now looking at this round, you know, for T1, got pistols. There's really no point in delaying the inevitable, or at least the potential inevitable. However, as I say that, it's down to the 2v2. Upgrades about to come through for the side of T1. And Cutler, he's got to deal with this push that's potentially going to be coming in from the shower. Skadoodle deciding to at least having a look back towards the portal. Wardell holding down a potential rotation that might come through the market. For the side of T1, they are just playing time. And time they've got. 50 seconds is a lot of time for TSM to say, and get antsy, right? Get anxious. Oh my God, where are they going to be? Is it B? Is it A? Is it B? Is it A? Wardell, though, is in a great spot to gather information for Cutler to say, okay, don't worry about B. I've got a big portion of the map covered. All you need to do is hold it down, and he's doing exactly that.
Yeah, and even on top of that, you see Cutler. They are pretty much set out to play a retake, right? You're looking for that information. As soon as the smoke comes down, he sees it from the camera. Wardell's going to go for the big flank, so you're just trying to tag him. You're going to let them plant pretty much at this point under 2 versus 2 so that you can give time for Wardell to flank towards short A. Even the Owl is going to spot him inside you, so that's already mispositioning there from Cutler at this point. The smoke's going to dissipate, so he doesn't really know where the player ran back to, but he still has that camera. So Wardell is going to move forward. They're both met up, and they're going to try to battle it together towards this A sign. But because they don't really know if they pushed in towards the back of the site, they have to check 50-50s all around. And it's going to be a crossfire setup. First kill from Wardell. Cyber Cage should come up, and it's going to be a spray through the Cyber Cage that does not get the kill. Wardell's around the corner. He does get the kill for Skadoodle. He switches back and wins that fight, and he will get that defuse because it was already halfway. And TSM, it was a close round because, you know, from the way that they crunched in towards the teleporter and the shower side, it looks so good for T1 rather to actually overthrow them on an eco round.
Yeah, this is now the momentum in the favor of T1. If you think about how that round unfolded, you called it exactly there. You know, for TSM, they would have loved to walk away with 3 members alive, at worst case 2. But in that case, in that scenario, it's just down to Cutler. Yes, he comes out on top, but T1 kept it a lot closer than it should have been if you look at the weaponry. Now you're looking at the weaponry. This round, it's 2 Guardians from TSM and an early pick from Wardell through Connector, but Food will answer back. The paint shells as well, looking to try to chip out Rosa, but now he swings with the 1-tap Guardian. He himself will get 1 tap as Wardell will also answer back. Pandemonium here in B short. He gets tagged and now has to retreat.
This is so good right now. The play style has changed already from TSM playing on blind, really using the teleporters to their advantage. Quote unquote, because nobody really uses teleporters as much as right now TSM has been doing on the defender side. The last round they went to teleporter B to crunch for showers. This time they're doing it towards his mid side to cover B. But a nice shock dart from T1 is going to put Wardell down to 54. They are trying to move in, waiting for his teammate to rotate, but Food pushed forward from a satchel charge and gets the kill. But you still have Cutler at the elbow. Peek, first headshot, catches Food off guard. Trying to go for the spray through the wall is going to be the Cypher of Brax on the other side, but now also Skadoodle is going to move forward. So a 2-for-1 into that push, and a 2 versus 0 pretty much as T1 has won that fight. Haze is looking to clutch a 2 versus 1. He does have a Hunter's Fury that's coming out here from Skadoodle. They are shooting around the site. He's looking to tap that spike and looking for that spray to come out, or at least a swing to come out from Brax, but Brax does so. Another tap to come through, and that recon dart is going to get so much information away, but he still wins that one. And somehow Skadoodle swings out. Haze gets the kill, double Guardian kill, and the round comes in for TSM as Haze gets the defuse.
My biggest question is, why are you not swinging together? I understand. Listen, maybe it's trusting. Maybe Skadoodle is saying, Brax, you got this. Just swing, easy peasy. But when you throw that recon bolt out, that is when you swing. And I think maybe that was the call there. We'll have obviously a look at the replay. And I mean, I called it there. The recon bolt comes through. You can only really swing once he's done putting the bow and arrow away and then switches to his weapon, whatever. Not sure what's going on with the replay there, but regardless, that was a very expensive round. But they're still looking to force the issue. It's a forced up for both sides.
Joke's over.
Whoever
You're
loses
dead.
this, their economy will be tatters for rounds to follow.
Definitely, and even on top of that, when the recon arrow came out, I'm like, why are you even going to peek at that point? Because it's already pinged out a few times. You see him at a position where he's not on the spike. So play that into your favor, because even the audible sound, it didn't have that that high-pitched one to show that Haze was already halfway. So you still have so much time on the clock right now to wait a bit and wait those few seconds so you go for that double swing after. So a little bit of miscommunication there for T1. A great clutch from Haze, and I think the replay was to show how crisp he was with that Guardian to get those 2 kills. But now 3-0. They're moving in forward for T1. They do have a gun round once again from the spike plant from that previous round. AZK moving forward here with the Phantom to try to clear out towards Showers. And you can see from this mini-map, all of them are all grouped up towards his A side. And they are looking for some big push as a team to take over the A side.
Now for T1, they've got a lot of light armor. So when they peek through here, and Drone's on the opposite side, they're going to need support from Haze. And as he peeks forward to try to help Drone, he gets taken out of the process. He throws the back of sight. He's also taken out. The last 2 members remaining for TSM have to rotate back over, but they're like, we want none of this. It's 2v5. The odds of us winning, especially with the weaponry that's online, slim. And I think Wardell's got the op that they want to carry off into the next round. There it is. So we'll see how they defend. I don't know if T1 is going to go hunting, but a great round for them. They forced the issue. 2 picks and Showers. They're like, okay, that's an easy A-side take, right? You know, if you think about it logically, they're going to have a bare minimum of 2 people towards that B site, right? Like, it just makes sense. So once you find 2 picks, you're like, that's an easy take for us. Let's push in, find whatever else we need. Sabrosa, unfortunately, is kind of caught with his pants down, not really sure where to look, what side of Tetris are they going to come from. Now T1 actually decides to go hunting. We'll see how expensive TSM make it out for them.
Wardell looking to save his operator. The swing comes out. He should be able to save it here as he swings right Cutler to save him. So they will be able to manage. To save those 2 rifles. And I gotta say, on that previous round, a great job for T1. Unfortunate for Drone, because they were trying to play the crossfire setup where he could hide towards a corner that's sometimes not checked. Not often checked if they actually go for that fight on the entrance side of Showers. But because he went for that peek back and went back into his corner, the barrel of his gun was spotted. So that allowed Brax to go for a spray, and then they were like, holy crap, we have to bring the fight. They both swing, and they didn't notice that there was actually 3 players already. But on top of that, T1 throws a recon dart inside the A side and a neural theft. There was no way that Sabrosa was able to hold anything towards that Tetris, towards that triple stack. And it was just a great round for T1 to take off a mistake of a barrel of a gun being stuck out from a timing, unfortunately for Drone. So 3-1 onto the board. We do have Crashies moving forward with his teammate inside the hookah area. While you do have Sabrosa, he does have the curveball, but no kills, at least some information. And you see that he has a Guardian, so the force buy still comes in for TSM.
T1, oh, that's so unfortunate. You like to see that double setup towards long, you know, try to peek, and then if one falls, you get the trade, but they both fall in that instance. And now, Brax, back of sight, has to deal with Wardell, spots out the sliver of his shoulder, but Wardell, I don't think he noticed. Still trying to hold this angle, and that's when the cyber cage goes down, he takes him out. Grown with the Bucky, but nobody will be going buck wild. It's T1, a cleanup shop here. And they try to get things close to that 3-3 even out finish. And for TSM, I think that was a force-up. And so for that, oh no, that was a force-up. So they have to go back down to the pistol. T1 likely to even things out here. But still, I think in this tournament alone, we've seen some pretty nutty ecos come through.
Definitely, and especially if Sabrosa, if his shots are ringing in from split into this one, they could turn it around. We can't disregard the fact that even though it's only Sheriffs right now for the defender side of TSM, that it could be around here for T1. So they have to play passively. Knowing that TSM is going to be on an eco right now for T1, you see them play super passively. They don't want to go for early into the map in case they have to run into shorties. So we don't know if they've actually purchased Sheriffs or shorties for T1's positioning, with the exception of probably Wardell, because Wardell or simply a Jet with the Bucky, it does a lot. Orbital Strike to come through, that's going to put Sabrosa away, and AZK even gets the kill. So people are going to call it a waste, Orbital Strike versus pistols, but you want to bring every round into your favor. So that's 2 early kills for T1. They're looking to make it a 3 versus 3. They hear the teleporter coming through from the defender's side, and all 3 players are sticking out there. So that's 1 kill from Joan. They've lost 1 player into Hayes with that. Shot burst comes down. But that's going to be a trade back. So Cutler makes it 2 kills for the team on an Ego. A dink with the Phantom, and here comes the swing right away from Crashies, and Crashies will win that fight. So we have tied it 3-3, although it looked well and good for TSM winning that pistol and getting 3 rounds in a row. This is where they have to stop T1 on the run if they want to stand a better chance on that second half, because I do predict that T1 are going to play a very good defender side here on this map of Bind.
I mean, I said earlier on in the pregame that a map like Bind, it doesn't really have a like it's a little defender-sided, but not as bad as Ascent and not as bad as Split. It definitely gives a lot of opportunity for teams to play a good attacker side, and so far we're seeing that. But TSM, they finally have an opportunity to answer back, help stop the bleeding. It starts with this gun round. An early look towards Hookah. It is going to be Sabrosa and Wardell trying to play the buddy system, try to peek together, get a little aggressive, but it doesn't really work out. They don't find anything, and for T1, that's a lot more space that they have to work with. Actually, Food almost finds, I believe that is Drone back of sight with the paint shells, but he's going to survive just fine.
Sabrosa, this is going to be a dangerous one here. The curveball to come out, but he's going to be on his own. It's 2 of them. He gets it, but it's going to be the hot hands on the ground. Thankfully, it was actually the run it back, so the Phoenix still stays alive onto that long B. So Sabrosa stuck inside a corner. Both of his curveballs have been used, and Crashes is moving forward. But Wardell looking for that trade. We heard the up shot ring. So he did miss the first kill. Actually, it looked like it was a wall bang onto the Cypher. So they know where the last 2 players are at. They're going to readjust for TSM. And a nice round there for at least Sabrosa to start things off. But it's not over yet. You still have Brax that's alive. And you still have Crashies that is alive too. So 2 young fraggers right now for the team. Could still turn it around for T1.
Taken out.
Nope.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, there was an opportunity. There was an opportunity, but you know, for TSM, like I said at the beginning of the round, that was their opportunity to stop the bleeding, and they were able to do so. So for them, they will have another gun round for them. I mean, obviously so, but for T1, they still have the economy, considering how much they were able to build up. But just some great play from Sabrosa. And, you know, we rang into question at the beginning of the series, what would the in-game leadership look like after 2 weeks of play? Right? After 2 weeks of trying out this new style. And who knows, maybe it's only up from here. Maybe it only gets better. And we see that here live at the Faze Valorant Invitational.
And now 4-3, Wardell pushing down towards long B. He didn't spawn anybody there, as we do have... Actually, Food was spotted by a recon arrow, so they have some sort of an idea. And Skadoodle reads him like a book. Wide swings, gets the frag as he puts Wardell out of position, but Sabrosa trying to even it up with the run it back. Now low HP is going to be Food pushing in, and he gets wall banged by Drone. And again, I don't think it's about the healing at this point, because you're looking at so many Counter-Strike players that they're okay with playing with low HP. They can still get some kills right now, and they don't really need that heal. So they really want to put the duelist into their favor. So a double duelist for T1. And we do have a double duelist as well for TSM, but that being the operator with Jet. Drone now anchoring in the back of the site by his lonesome, but a flank is still coming here from Sobroza at Long B. So they're in a tough position. If
No
at
more
least
charges
Brax can
left.
get a kill, they can hit the
Enemy down.
teleporter into
Where
A,
is
and that's exactly what's going to
everyone?
happen. There goes that first kill, and they even get the flanker. So Sobroza is going to fall. Cutler has to come up huge.
My
He
eyes are
has the
down.
operator, as it did have a double up set up here for TSM. And what's going to happen at this point?
Yeah, they call the portal, but Cutler, like you said, now his job becomes even harder. Yes, Drone is in rotation. He smoked off, and now they have to pretty much go through the vents together. The smoke also will cut off the vision of the vents. Now here comes the Hunter's Fury. Actually, Drone gonna find it there, and he's gonna find two. Drone tags the second, and now here comes Cutler. He's gonna swing, takes out Skadoodle, and TSM send a message.
With a Hunter's Fury to clutch the
What a
round
hero.
there. A great positioning for Brax. Alert play, a kill, a position inside pipes so that he could actually cut rotations from Drone coming in from B. They know that Cutler's already on the top because he rang an op shot. And that being said, a Hunter's Fury, low HP players with no time. They pinged it out, thankfully, probably from Cutler, from where he was playing the camera, to actually get those 2 kills. What a round there for Drone to save it for TSM at this point and give that lead by 2. Now it all has to come down to what's the economy is like. It's still good here for TSM, but what will T1 do with this?
I think I saw like SMGs or something like that. Like it's a little bit of a soft buy. So they might look to play Scrappy. Yeah, actually it's a little bit better than a soft buy. We got some Phantoms in the mix, and you know, if they find themselves in the hands of their opposition and find some frags, they might even be able to upgrade. We saw how Wardell was playing aggressively towards B long. He was taken out last time, but this time he's gonna find Skadoodle, who's looking down the barrel of a gun. Wardell with another. Can he find the third? No, he cannot. It's AZK that hops, skips, jumps away back to the spike. And now TSM with the man advantage of 5v3. How can T1, at the bare minimum, do some damage and take some of these members out?
Yeah, I definitely have to start off with food right now inside Hookah, as Brax, the lurker, does not pay off on that lurk inside A. Wardell, knowing that food always takes his Hookah control, is peeking in, gets the kill, traded off by AZK, as unfortunately he missed that shot. But as AZK jumps into the site, this could be the information now, at least. Okay, this round, on a gun round, they had 3 players of TSM inside the B site on a stack, knowing as well that Cutler plays a camera towards A. It should be that standard 3-2 on that play on the defensive side for TSM. So now they went for that scrappy buy. It didn't pay off in their favor. What's going to happen now is they're probably going to go for an eco, but it's still looking good for TSM. We talked about them stopping the bleeding. Oh, actually, they're going for a force buy. Okay, 3 Phantoms, a Bulldog, and maybe some sort of Ghost probably for crashes at this point. But like I said, they had to stop the bleeding. They're doing that right now for TSM.
The reason why T1's in the force buy is because if they lose this round, then they pistol, and then in the last round, they make their last and final mark with the gun round. So they're anticipating a potential loss coming in. And as a result, they want to play with their money smart. Wardell is going to try to find one. He misses 2 crucial shots. That might be the round. Okay, that's not the round, but that might be so detrimental to what happened. Brack's going to find Haze. It's a quick trade from Drone. And already, we're seeing Sobroza. He's got the long flank. How long will it take him to get there to support his team? It's 4v4. Here comes the swing from Drone. Crashy sends him to the Netherrealm. Cutler now has to help Wardell try to retake the site while Sobroza is taking his time. He's trying to make it back towards the site. For the side of T1, they've held down these post plants. 2 towards lamps. 1 actually held down on and near the spike. Crashies has a great crossfire to help Skadoodle survive. But now, as Sobroza starts to come forward, they are starting to try to pinch in. Now they come in towards lamps. It's Cutler. He's on the side. They're just playing cat and mouse, but he's going to find one. Food will be able to answer back. And now Wardell, he has to question himself. Will he fight? Will he try to get this spike? He is just looking for exits now at this point. But as that spike's about to blow, there's not really a whole lot left that Wardell can do. And down that op will go. So the scrappy forced up here. Yet another one for T1. Goes well for them. But TSM, they still have the economy. They will have another gun round for themselves.
Yeah, and unfortunate there, I think for Wardell at that point, he didn't have a tailwind to get out of the area as he just gave up his operator at that point. It had to come down for Sabrosa and for Cutler to get those kills because he was just focused on the player hiding towards that bench, which was Crashies with that Spectre. And I love how Sabrosa played it because so many times you saw that camera come up from Brax, and because that time was ticking down, they probably thought, okay, at this point, nobody's going to be flanking. Sabrosa used that to his advantage and actually did get a kill on a retake. But unfortunate for them, they both fall for a double stack inside you, and it was just a better hold for T1 on that whole plan. 4 versus 3, very hard to take there in favor of the defender side. But now we have a run it back from both sides, trying to get information towards B, trying to get information towards A, and we know that it's going to be towards B. With one going to sit up the shadow, picking up 2. We have the overall starting to come down. We have one moving through the teleporter, but he did not take the spike with him. So he's inside the teleporter right now. Skadoodle will try to pick it up as he picks up a Phantom at this point. But a great round to start things off on the defender side for TSM.
And Hayes now, all he needs to do is hold his angle. They'll start to come through. Wardell will support from afar. And now Crashy's last member standing. He's got a Bulldog, 0 armor, only has the curveballs, and to be quite honest, even if he finds 1, even if he finds 2, it'll be a little bit difficult to find the remaining 3. So now as he spike, it's Wardell who's looking right back at him, a mirror of himself. That's 7-4 for TSM, now entering into the last and final round of the half. For T1, it would honestly be a great start for a 7-5 finish, but for TSM, considering how you earlier said T1 would have a pretty good defender side, it's important for TSM to win this next one.
And they don't have that much money to work with there, Simo. We saw that Phantom, we saw how low that was, and that was just a great play from Cutler to play that super passively, right? Because they had to run it back looking for some information, and he saw that nobody was really playing aggressive peeks towards the defender side. They knew there was going to be some sort of stack towards showers, and they seemed to have focused towards that. So as they run through with the run it back, Cutler with the timing comes back out from you and gets that lineup with the 2 kills. Thankfully, they also had the orbital strike to calm down the pressure following those 2 first kills that Cutler had. So a great communication for TSM to hold that last round. It's going to be a low buy coming in for T1 into this round. Brimstone, he's going to throw down his orbital strike, but it's still going to be Crashies that gets the first kill onto Drone because they have moved into the site, thankfully, from a showstopper that basically scattered around the defense for the TSM as they're trying to retake it. A neural step to come down. It's looking good here for at least the final round for T1.
Wardell setting up with the rest of his team. Still a 3v5 that they're willing to fight. You know, it's the last round of the half. Nothing really to save unless you're saving those strats for the major. And TSM definitely do not want to do that. Now as the Playstorm comes in, finds one, has to keep pulling from afar. Now things are a little bit more evened out. Food with the frenzy is able to make it work. And now Wardell has to let those blades fly. Brax gonna find 1, gonna find 2, gonna find 3. And it's T1 giving us a 7-5 finish. Now as we move on into the second half, you know, we talked a little bit about TSM's pistol. Super important for them to win it here because that could potentially put us at 9-5. And, you know, if T1 have this great defender side, that'll give TSM at least a lot of rounds to buffer in order to try and stop the bleeding and try to close it out to bring us to map.
No, definitely at this point now, with the pistol round at least that they won on Blind, that's 1 out of 3 so far, hoping to make it 2 out of 4 in his whole best of 3 in this series to try to bring this to a 3rd map. That being said, though, T1 now has the defender side. They have 5 rounds that they got on the attacker, and that might be that single round that might push them over the edge on that defense, that confidence that they need on the defender side. And look how confident they are to start. 3 players to push forward into the short A. It's Wardell with 1 and 2. Now we have Food throwing everything that he can in terms of satchel charges and also paint shells, and Wardell gets the hat trick on top of that, capitalizing on the paint shells coming down. And that's going to be the A defense pretty much open, with the 2 last players looking to rotate for T1.
We've seen some miraculous things happen before, and we'll see how T1 are able to bring some of those miracles to life. For TSM, all the odds are in their favor for this hold on this A site. Now Skadoodle trying to clear things out to Owl Drone. Smokes on smokes now, puts Skadoodle last one in the mix, and it's Wardell with 4 on the round that give TSM the much needed pistol to kick us off. And for T1, they may have to wait another round to be a part of the conversation, but considering it is going to be TSM that look like they're going to buy a little bit of a soft buy, you know, Ghost Spectres, we're seeing a little bit of a mixed bag. Sometimes you want that operator on that third round. We'll see how that ends up working out. But I think if Food survived, it would have been a completely different story, right? So Wardell finding that pick, super crucial to winning that pistol. So we'll see how T1 play this eco. They're not gambling towards one site. They're still playing 2 to 3 split. We'll see how that works out.
Wardell with the Marshall, gonna shoot that recon arrow, and they're gonna counter it back with drones recon arrow towards the Octagon side, and that was gonna be a two-man push rather towards the garden for the defenders, but now that it's pushed back by Hot Hands and lots of utilities actually from TSM, they're doing a great job for T1 actually to bait out all the abilities to start. Now they can get good positioning. Look at this rotation. They have people rotating towards this B side, and they have shorties to work with. And that Owl Drone only spots one. So this could be a good call right now from that bait as they're walking into it to have these kills from the crossfire with the pistols to actually turn it around for T1. The thing is, though, they only have 3 players lurking for TSM. If they get enough information, they could get the spike and fall back towards A. But that's the first kill coming through from the paint shells. We still have Wardell in a good position inside Octagon, but a 4 versus 4 spike is picked up, but they're still committing towards B.
Yeah, a lot of members from T1, well, probably exactly half of the members from T1 pushing back towards this A site, you know, thinking maybe there might be a push forward, but now as the smokes come in, they have to be a little bit careful. But Skadoodle walks out. He sneezes onto Drone. Wardell, you will be able to at least answer back, but that spike's got to go down at some point, and Brax sitting in the tuna can, he's got the shorty ready. AZK is all able to support. That's the Ghost. They were able to set up a great crossfire. Now it's down to the 1v2. Somehow T1 have the advantage, but there's 10 seconds left. Haze is just trying to play the time. That'll be the frag that comes through. Food now has to come through. That's the blast back. Oh, baby, from distance. The 3-pointer works out for Food, and T1 win the pistol over the soft buy.
So I don't know if you know this, Timo, but did you know that a sneeze could travel 200 yards? So that's actually a super strong sneeze from Skadoodle from the Octagon there to get that kill. Sorry, from the elbow to get that kill into Octagon. But that throw from the satchel charge, the blast pack, right in the face of Haze, where you thought it was going to be the round finally that was going to be salvaged by a clutch play from Haze. But it's going to be the ability of the Rays that's going to save it for T1. Ecoing it back versus TSM. And you're going to see them not giving up. After losing that round, rather, they're still going for some sort of a buy because they should know that TSM, or T1 rather, are still going to be on some sort of a low buy as well.
Yeah, but at least T1 really mixed things up with TSM. You know, it was supposed to be a 9-5 scoreline after that round. But unfortunately, it didn't really work out that way. So early pick here for Crashies. He's got the Phantom on in Hookah. Now they run it back. Gives him a lot more space to gather information. And TSM are going to try to fall back. They do. I don't know if he sees one there, and he's still going to try to push forward. It's Drone on the opposite side. And sends his regards with the run it back. Now it's the 3v5, and you know, some of the weapons in the hands of TSM means that they really were invested in this round, but it's so far not looking good for them. So we'll see how they decide to work this through. They have Cutler gathering information towards the A site, and it is Haze and Wardell now pushing it through. Hookah first shot's going to be good. Crashy. He's going to try to find that second one, but it's Wardell who comes out victorious, and now the 2v4.
Unfortunately, the paint shells are being thrown here towards the teleporter to see if they could get Wardell. But unfortunately not. Wardell jumps to pick up the spike. Cutler has to come up huge maybe for the long-range sheriff, but it does not pay off. 23 seconds left on the clock. It should be safe now for Wardell to say, look, I got the Phantom that I force spot into this round. Let's keep it into the next. So he's going back towards his defender spawn side. The money is not good at all. So at this point, you've lost 2 rounds in a row here for the attacker side. And we'll see what's going to happen with that at that point, because they are hunting him down. Wardell gets that kill. The other ones are a little bit too far, so Wardell should be able to save this one here. But it's going to be probably playing off the Phantom. What they want to do with this 2 rounds that you lost in a row is $2,400. And they're just going to force up enough so that they can buy into the next round with a full gun round. So potential here for T1 in the second map to tie it up.
2 rounds back-to-back, and then now, like you're saying, it is TSM back down to the pistol. Things are not looking good, and to tie things up would mean T1 have such a great momentum swing in the second half. And you know, considering this is their map pick, this is where they may be feeling comfortable and at home. TSM need to do something quickly. Yes, I know it's a pistol, but the next round to follow, they will at least have the opportunity with the gun round to make a difference. The round that we are in is currently a fight for Shower's control, and TSM are working their way up through A short, while the rest of T1 still have a lot of support towards the B site. But considering it's a 3-stack for T1 here, means that they're ready. There's the one way. Unfortunately, there's a flash. Now it's the showstopper. Sends it down, finds one, and finds the second with the spray. ACK with the crossfire. Archie pushing in. He will actually lose his life. But Brax sprays with the smoke towards the Showers and sends him home. T1 tie us up 8-8.
That is so crazy how that's played at the same time. I don't know if you noticed this, Simo, for Brax, how he got that kill through the smoke, but when we actually had those trades happen inside the Shower side and he died, they just went, hit the tab, and then started pinging everywhere. That was AZK, right? So he loses that fight, and look at all those pings happening. They're right there. He's pinging across. Brax sprays through the smoke and gets the win. So not only are pings good here for post-plant situations, but when it comes down to those intensive rounds to try to get the crossfire setup, that's some great skill coming in from a reaction time from a player that dies but could still give so much information for the team. So a great round there for T1, making it 8-8 as we predicted from that eco that we had from TSM. But now that they have a gun round, it's going to be Food that's still going to put the nail in the coffin and try to bring this to a 2-0 victory in this series.
Imagine dying to a jiggle peak. Like, that is, like, Hayes' shoulder was still leaving the vision line, and Food finds that frag. Very, very impressive stuff. Now he's trying to push forward. It is going to be Sabrosa who's got the run back. We're already down to 23 HP. Wardell will answer back with the op shot of his own, and they clear the site. TSM have free reign over this A site now, and that spike, of course, going to be going down. T1 have to decide, are they willing to fight this, or do they save the weaponry? It looks like the answer is the former. Now, TSM in those post-plants, Van Steely, how are T1 going to break through this?
It's going to be a tough one right now. They still have abilities to try to make it out of the site. It's going to be a curveball. But actually, Brax has already made it through, so we're going to have to play it off the Owl Drone. They know that there's one in there. Nice shock dart coming through here from the attacker side on a post plant situation. That's courtesy of Drone. So now they know two players are playing in there. A camera to spot both players. And now the curveball to come through. A face-to-face battle, but it's still going to be just that player trying to stay alive. It's going to be Sabrosa. He's on a 3 versus 2. Players still alive at this point. He's looking towards the back of A. He almost gets the second kill, but unfortunately it does not happen just from a recon arrow. But the time is not going to be in the favor here of T1.
Oh my goodness. So close for T1. And, you know, at that point, I thought that the post plants were good enough for the side of TSM. I thought that they were in position. There was no way T1 come in and they shake things up. But regardless of the round going over to TSM, I mean, we have to have a look at some of these replays because it's really the question mark becomes, how did the post plant go for TSM? Cutler, maybe he stalled enough time, but Crashies, you put him in a position where he can thrive, you take him off the Cypher, and you give him a Phoenix, you give him an Omen, and he performs for you.
Get out of my way!
TSM still win the round, but it was a very costly one at that. T1, they obviously have the weaponry, and considering you hear that audio cue for the Blade Storm, you guess right, it's the eco for TSM, so T1 gonna very likely catch us back up and even us out, but TSM could still do some damage.
Yeah, and not only that too, the way that T1 played that post plant or the retake was thanks to that camera and the recon arrow that already spotted 2 out of the 4 or 2 players that were still alive here, or either the 3 players for TSM on the post plant. So just that single information gave that chance for Crashing to move forward and get those frags too. But unfortunately, time was not on their side. TSM regains the lead in this matchup. It's 9-8. It was much needed here in the second half. After winning Pistol and getting ecoed and losing 3 rounds in a row, they really needed that previous round. So they got it from the skin of their teeth. And we'll see now if they can continue the run to make this a banger of a series into a 3rd map. But no matter what, even if it goes to 2 maps, it's been so close for these 2 teams, and we are entertained by this matchup.
So here's what TSM are doing. Smokes down, Owl Drone on the A site. They're trying to sell the fake towards A, but it's not working. T1 have 4 stacked towards the B site. They smell it, they're looking. Here comes the Hunter's Fury. Brack is going to find 1. He will try to tag that second, and it will work out for Skadoodle. Now down to 2. Hayes is upgraded to the Sakura Vandal. Now just trying to shoot through the wood, and that's going to be Crashies that falls. But still, it's a 2v4 in favor of T1. Time not really in favor of TSM here, so they might set up a little bit of a crossfire and try to save some of these weapons, but Brack's already going to see some of that rotation come in through from Hayes. Loses the gun duel and T1 tie us up 9-9. Vansili, the second half is close, and both these teams are going for each other's throats.
Yeah, and like I said, is it going to be that single round from T1 to make it 7-5 on that first half? That's going to be the deciding round for T1 to close it 2-0. But then again, it seems as though from the previous round, T1 is able to read into TSM's strat book. Stacking 4 guys inside B is actually quite huge. Not only that, positioning better from Skadoodle to get that frag, and even a Hunter's Fury to start things off there for the defenders. So TSM, they're going to have to go back here in a force. Well, they're forcing off the 2 weapons that they save, right? So they have Sheriff and Ghost. They keep that Bulldog and also the Vandal from the previous round. And we are trying to move in close, and it works out. Wardell gets the kill onto AZK with the Shorty. He picks up the Phantom, and now Food is trying to push forward. But that's a week now, but we already have the rotation from T1 and from the spawn side. So one goes ahead. We have the execution coming through, and now we have the girl step. That's part of the information for Food, but he still comes out to get a kill. It's a trade after trade, and the rifles are now ringing in from the past round, and Sabrosa gets the frag onto Brax. So the spike is still up, finally planted, but look at that. It's a 3 versus 1.
Skadoodle has the op in hand. A couple of cyber cages on the ground, and still, there aren't really that many weapons in the hands of TSM. Of course, I think that was a classic there, still on Cutler, but he's gonna tag Skadoodle, and now here comes the hunt. The hyenas are hungry, and they want that operator hand. That's gonna be the swing that they come through, and Skadoodle, he's gonna lose that operator as soon as he purchases it. Now, for the side of TSM, they are in the double digits, and for T1, look at that economy. We could see TSM layer on yet another round here, putting us at 11-9, and for T1, on their map pick, things are not looking so good.
What a great round there for Wardell. That's opening it up for TSM to move forward, because getting that first kill, you're putting Food, out of position, forcing to fall back, which means he, who was the player playing behind APC, to look back towards Showers, opens up the Showers area, and now map and site control is taken over by TSM. Now that they know that they still have a chance to eco back versus TSM or force swipe back versus TSM, they're choosing that route. So they are having a couple of Phantoms. I think one only had a Shorty at that point too. But it's going to be Cutler and Wardell moving forward as a team, as a unit, to take control of Showers, while the rest are going to be short A. So it's going to be a big push towards this A side. They forced out a rotation. They gambled a rotation already from T1 side. So it's looking good here for TSM to take the round.
Oh, that's the orbital strike. It actually separates the team. Still Skadoodle's going to try to use the run it back. The swing AZK will fall, and Wardell will also support from pushing in from Shower. So far, it's just one. But Food, he's got the showstopper. He can really make it worth his while. Wardell going to find another one, and now it's the 3v5. Food, like I said, still has a showstopper. Shorty will work out. Now upgrades to the Phantom. He will try to clear things out with the paint shells. Smoke's going down, but he needs to get involved now or never. The rest of his team, of course, are going to start to help and support from vents. One member, it's Brax, who's lurking all the way back around. Here's Wardell. Swing is good. Shot's going to land onto Brax. And now it's just the 2v4, all down to Food. He's got the Phantom, and he's going to hightail it out of there. Not really willing to risk his life. But if we look at the force up, initially, I honestly thought it was just going to be pistols. T1 were going to save, but they bought up. So that means that it could be a potential match point here for TSM, as T1 likely not going to have the credits to follow up in the next round.
I do enjoy the patient play, though, for Food at that point. He had that Shorty inside you. The smoke, the molly missed. So technically, they didn't really clear it for TSM. So they walked into darkness, into lamps, or into you. Food was able to get that kill. And when you called out that he had the showstopper, maybe he could have used it. But I think at that point, what T1 was doing was that they were waiting for that big flank from Brax. If Brax actually had that kill, people would have to focus back towards short A. Then you'll see Food run out with a showstopper and maybe turn it around over for T1. But the good thing is that TSM, they are aware of how much Brax likes to play that lurk. We talked about it a lot on that previous map on Split. He's doing the same thing right now on big flanks as the defender of Cypher. And Wardell waited for that, got that frag. Now it's curveball for curveball. both of them are actually strikes because they blind each other on both sides and they both stay alive. And now they're just going to throw hot hands. So you know what? Anything you could do, I could do better at this point. But who's going to be the better fragger? It's going to be Wardell going up here against Drone. A double peek very soon. The Cape is going to give so much information, but he misses a shot, is able to dash away, and we're still going to have a 5 versus 5.
No, 5 versus 4. Food found an early pick. Yeah, he found an early pick onto Cutler. I'm not sure if he was looking at his camera and Food was able to push forward. We were looking at all the action towards this B site. And so now T1, they've got the man advantage. But for TSM, if they decide to hit this A site nearly soon, they will find out that it's only one player there. But Food still has the showstopper. If he sees 3 or 2 or 4 running in, he's just going to send it flying. And one blast pack's enough to give him some space, some air to really hop over. Smoke's coming through. He's going to get tagged by the Owl Drone, but here comes the Under Fury. Not going to tag him once, not even going to tag him twice, not even thrice. But still, he's going to have to run through the fire and the flames, but it's Sabrosa that pushes forward, finds two. Skadoodle with the shock bolt. Drone mows them down as they push in the vents. But remember, this is the equal round for T1. Not a whole lot we can expect out of them, but nevertheless, a good early pick. They find one, they find two. TSM though still win the round.
So now the tides have turned. We have TSM at map point. We have a scenario where T1 could catch up here. They get a spike plan down that adds the 300 credits to their dollar, or to their wallet rather, which could definitely help them if they could win this round and continue to build that economy to maybe bring this to that last regulation round again. So maybe a similar scenario in terms of a scoreline, but on that previous round, a great take from TSM. 12-9 now as they're looking to seal the deal and bring this to a third and final map. And you see how aggressive it is from T1. They really want to try to take the orbs fast and quick so they can actually bring as many ultimates as they can to put this into their favor. But Sabrosa is trying to seal the deal right away. He gets the first kill onto Crashies, and we are pushing aggressively here for TSM. And we have a counter Owl Drone that's going to give information. I think he spotted 2 or 3 off that point of view. Now he gets tagged himself. But low HP is going to be Skadoodle on top of that. And despite now picked up by Sabrosa, they're looking to walk back towards the A. And there you go. There's a teleporter. Fortunately for the side of T1, only one ultimate available. I don't know how close everyone else is in. For AZK, that's unfortunate. Actually gets rid of the recon hold. Now going to play a little more aggressive. He's going to get burnt alive at the crisp with the hot hands. Back to the zone. Now the clone that comes through is quickly taken care of. They're holding on to the site. Here come the paint shells lobbed over the APC, but Skadoodle playing close with the op. Has to deal with, I believe it is Cutler on the opposite side. He's got the Cyber Cage, allowing him to retreat. Now going to be going into the connector. One on the opposite side. It's Sabrosa who swings wide. He's going to find one, but Food. He takes out Wardell. One of the star firepower players for TSM. Cutler really has to clutch this down. Headshot onto Brax. That's huge. And now all down to Food. It's Sabrosa back there watching the flank, and he takes out Food. A great round for